Hey guys, welcome back to the Porsche 911 restoration, or should I say building a Porsche 911 from the ground up, because literally that's what it feels like. Now, if you cast your mind back to the first episode, you'll see this car was all nice and majestic and red, and you could barely see any rust on it. Anyway, that's another story, because as you can see, there's no rear quarters on this car. We've actually cut the outer sills and the inner sills off, but we've managed to stitch this inner sill back on in the previous episode. Now, all this purple stuff here is the Dinosol rust converter, which we've applied to all the bare surfaces just to make sure it doesn't rust again. But in this episode, we're going to continue on the fabrication on this car, because we've got these kidney balls to put on, and then we're going to etch prime the entire underside and inside these sections here to make sure it's all nice and protected. And then we're going to continue on the build and hopefully maybe get some out sills or the engine in there, or maybe paint inside the engine bay. We'll see. But yeah, there's an awful lot of work to do on this car, so we best get started. Let's go. Right, so it is a couple of days later now, hence the short hair. I've actually had a haircut. I know it was overdue. I know I need to do the beard now. Anyway, with that aside, the paint had a couple of spare days and I was on another project, so I got him to paint this engine bay because it needed doing anyway. So I didn't film it, but he stripped everything out of the engine bay, prepped it all, painted it, put it all back. So it's now nice and glossy and red, and yeah, anyway, because before it was like pink and faded and all sorts of different colours and like overspray and that. But anyway, with that aside, now I'm going to concentrate on the kidney balls, like I said in the intro of the video. So I need to etch prime the locations of the kidney balls, get the kidney balls on, and get them welded on, get it ground down, clean it up, and then I can etch prime the entire underside and body and tub of the car. Right, so we've got the kidney balls on, bada bing, bada boom, they're done. Now, this car looks slightly different to what it was in the last clip because everything's taped off, ready for primer, and we've used some Dinosol rust neutralizer on all of the bare surfaces. So that's that, so that's why it looks shiny and it looks purple in areas. So I need to do a bit more welding, which is on the side skirt holders, which basically hold the side skirt on. So I need to do them. There's 3 on either side, so I've got them to do. For that, I need to offer the rear quarter up and just make sure that this side skirt is actually in the right place. Then the side skirt holders are here. Just need to do 3 pins on either side. Once that's done, I can get everything primed. And we can use some self-etch primer or some etch primer on that and get it all in primer and get it looking nice. It is prime time. So we've got those little sections done down there. I've taped the rest of the car up so we don't obviously get any overspray on the car, and it is now time to prime. So all of this side section, the fronts and the underneath as well. Obviously we don't have to do inside the engine bay because that's done. So we'll get it primed, get it protected, and then hopefully get some seam seal on there as well. It's amazing what a bit of primer can do. Now, it's all one colour and it looks so much better than what it did. Now, I'm going to move on to the seam sealer. Now this is all nice and dry, I'm going to seal all of the repaired areas, and I'm also going to seal all these seams here as well. And that makes sure no moisture actually gets trapped between the panels and starts rusting it from the inside out. That's the seam sealing done. Now we're going to move on to the Dinitrol ML, which is a cavity wax protection. Now you can spray this in all the cavities, and obviously you've got this little lance here that you can get in there and, you know, spray it all up in there, and it creeps between the seams and it makes sure it's all nice and protected. So we'll get that done first. Then after that, what we can do is we can spray the ML on the entire underside of the car, which this basically acts as an adhesion promoter, and it also gives an extra layer of protection. So this car has literally had everything. It's had the RC900 from Dinitrol, which is a rust converter that's been on every bit of the car. Then it's had 2 coats of the etch primer, then it's going to have the ML, and then we're going to move on to the 4941, which is the underbody protection, the self-knitting stuff, and then the 445, which is the stone protection, which goes in all the arches. So let's get some ML on, let's get some ML on in all the cavities, spray it on all the underside, and then we'll take it from there. Right, the ML is done. Now we go on to the 445, which is the stone chip. Now this goes in all of the arches, so we'll put this on first, and then we can move on to the 4941, which is the underbody protection. So there's 2 main differences. This is a hard surface, it's overpaintable, and it dries really, really tough. So obviously stone chips will be repelled. And then the 4941, which is the underbody stuff, is sort of like a quite a tacky substance, and it's self-knitting as well. So if there's any damage underneath, it kind of knits itself back together. So all good stuff, will recommend it. Links in the description. Do check Dinitrol out. They're a good partner of ours, and we use them on basically all of the cars, even cars that we don't film. So let's get this on. The 445, first on the arches, and then we'll move on to the 4941. 445 done, stone chip done. Now this is very quick drying as well, which is a good note for when you're in a rush like I always am. So we've now got the 4941. This is the corrosion protection, underbody protection. It's a self-knitting stuff. It stays slightly tacky and it's self-healing as well. This is very, very good stuff, just like the 445. Again, links in the description. This is so easy to apply, it's unbelievable. Literally, you can get a range of guns. There's a couple of guns that Dinatrol actually sell. You can use a normal Schultz gun or anything like that. Just bash it on, bada bing, bada boom. So, time for the 4941. So this basically, I'm going to put it on the front and I'm going to put it on the entire underside. Now, I emptied 2 full canisters of 445 on the archers, and then I'm probably going to empty about 5 of these 4941s, judging by previous experience on other cars. So, let's get a gun on this and let's get it on the car. Again, a massive shout out goes out to Dinatrol. I mean, this stuff is just the absolute bee's knees. So links in the description. Do Dinatrol, do check them out. Very good stuff, and it really does just finish this underbody off. Now, I want to start on taping this, all this underbody stuff just here. I'm not going to untape the car yet because I'm going to get the engine right here. I'm going to get the front running gear right there, and I'm going to start, hopefully, putting them back on the car. First things first, we're going to start with this front subframe. So we've got 3 bolts each on the top of the struts. We've got 2 on the anti-roll bar clamps. We've got 1 on this main frame on either side, and then we've got 3 on this front section here. We've also got a towing eye on one side and then just a clamp on the other side, a retaining clamp. So we're going to lower the car down enough to try and get this bolted up, and then we can obviously take the car back up and bolt it fully. Right, I think we're ready to get the engine in. Now, I know what you're thinking, we've still got the bracing inside, and I'm going to cut that off when we get the engine in the running gear back on, and then I can take it onto the ground and then cut the bracing out. I don't want to do it before the engine goes back in. So yeah, so we've got this nice rubber on, we've got everything prepared in there, we've got the struts on as well. So we're going to pop the engine in really nice and steady so we don't break anything, and then hopefully we don't get any issues, because yeah, we don't need any issues on this car because it's an absolute disaster. Yeah, let's get to it. Right, major milestone. So we've got the engine in. My two uncles helped me put it in. We've got it in probably in about 2 hours. I've also done all of the gear linkages, everything on the bottom side of the engine and everything inside the engine bay as well. I just need to do the gear linkage inside the cabin, and I think there's also an electrical connection in there as well. We've also got the front running gear on, so that's all sorted. Now there's just a belly pan that I need to put on down there, but I need to refurb it first before I put it back on. But that's most of everything onto the car. So I can't start the car yet because we need to put some oil in it and we need to get a filter as well. So that's going to be in the next episode. But for now, I'm going to get the wheels on and yeah, it should look more like a car again. This car has not been on its four wheels since probably either January or February when I actually started this build. Now, don't forget what we've done. We've done, obviously, inner sills, inner sills, stripped the interior, put all the bracing in there. We've done a full strip on the under seal. We've done all of the jacking points. We've done the kidney balls. We've done all the repairs on the structural tub. We've done the repairs on here. We've done the repairs on the other side. This car has just been an absolute disaster. Not from day one, because we thought at day one it was actually a very nice car, but obviously it turned into a disaster. So this is a major milestone, getting it back onto its four wheels and actually sitting like a car again. So I'm going to take the ramp down and yeah, get it sitting on its four wheels. Well, that's all we've got time for in this video. Do check us out in the next video where we're going to get this car fully on the ground, and we're going to hopefully get these sills on, these rear quarters, and get very near completion on the Porsche 911.